Today we're going to look at some products from a company called GearBest. They're located in China, and they reached out to me and said, would you like to take a look at some products? I said sure. So they sent along three different things. So one here is a plug-in HUD head-up display, and in here we have a dash cam, which looks to be about a clone of a Blackview. And in this box, which we'll probably have to wait for a future video because this contains a radio stack, and I'm going to put this in my wife's car because obviously in a Tesla you can't use that. These two products, we'll probably test it out mostly on my wife's car, and this, we have an opportunity to test this in White Knight because, you know, we have an ODB port. So anyways, stay tuned and we'll have a look at this. All right, first, so let's take a look at the head-up display. So we just open the box. Ta-da! Get this little guy here wrapped in plastic, and it has, where is it here? Oh, yeah, so it has a USB port on that side, and it looks like probably there's a scroll wheel here and a switch. Looks fairly straightforward. I do believe you put this in the up on the dashboard, and it reflects on your windshield, and then the rest of the box you get USB cable on that side, ODB port. Of course, you can't use this on a Model 3, folks, because the Model 3, as I reported a long time ago, does not have an ODB port. It has some kind of weird special diagnostics port that only Tesla can use at the current time, because obviously nobody's taken one apart yet, and we don't know what all the details are. And it looks like it's got this little rubber silicone mat to keep the thing from moving around. So, and this is the dash cam. It's made by a company called Yunsun or Junsun. It's a Wi-Fi dash cam. So just pull the sleeve out. Have a quick look at this guy. Come on. All right, so there's your user manual. Oh, two extra little boxes. Let's have a look at what's in here. Ta-da! Oh, okay, there you go. Oh, look at that. Yes, definitely what looks to be the same kind of form factor as a Blackview dash cam, which in my opinion here, is probably the best dash cam you can buy on the market. Not this one, but the Blackviews are really good. USB port there, and most likely under this little hood here you've got your SD card. Yeah, sure enough, that's exactly what's going on. Some 3M sticky tape on there. Speaker, not much else. In here I'm going to guess is the connectors. What did they give us? Oh yeah, USB on one end and a cigarette lighter. Not too sure how this will work in the car, given that cigarette lighter is not 100% auto power all the time. Some cars have power to it continuously, some don't. Again, when we put this in the car, we'll be able to see what that's all about. So before we begin the installation, I need this app. So they tell you to use a QR code reader to, there you go, to go and get this app. I'm on iPhone here, open the App Store. There's the app. We will get the app. So while that's downloading, we can actually go and do the install in the car. All right, the next thing we're going to take a look at is what's inside this box, which is the radio stack. So what do they give us here? Oh yeah, look at that, a little backup camera, which look like to be infrared lights or sensors. So we set that aside. That's the extension cable for the backup camera to go to the front of the car. Oh, wiring harness. I told them to send us a radio that would work in a 2009 City Golf gasoline car that we own. And they sent it this kit, so it says Volkswagen, so we'll see. But that definitely looks like the type of connectors we find on the back of the Volkswagen, which I'm sure plug into the wiring harness on the Volkswagen, and then the other end goes into the back of the radio, because these radios tend to not have OEM-specific connectors on the back. They tend to be a little more generic. Sometimes you get a lot of these old-style RCA-type connectors, and there's some kind of CAN bus box in there for the car. Now, the thing about these radios is that these are all Android-powered radios now these days, because they can do software updates on these things and make them fairly inexpensively compared to some of the big name brand stuff. I forget the cost of this online. I think if you want to buy one, they're about $170 Canadian, so they're not terribly expensive. All right. So as you can see, there's the radio stack. And it has buttons for GPS, play, Bluetooth, band radio. It has a DVD player in there too. 2 SD card slots on the front. One says GPS, the other one says SD. I'm going to assume that this is probably for maps. A little tour of the box. These are push button, by the way. And then, yeah, here's the back. And you have your proprietary connector. Oh, there's a fuse there, another connector. GPS antenna, I believe, external. 2 USB port connectors, female, so probably extensions to run into the dash. We need to plug something else in. Anyways, fairly straightforward. It's not very big. My only concern with this, of course, is making sure that this fits in the dashboard of our car. Yeah, I'm not too sure until I take it apart. Again, this will probably have to wait for another day because it's currently minus 10 outside today, and I don't have a heated garage, and that is not going to be fun to try and install this. So this will probably have to wait for another day, but today let's go take a look at the other two devices. So here's my wife's Volkswagen Golf, and we're going to install these two items in the car. First, I got to navigate my garage a little bit. Apologize for it being so dirty, but hey, I got to work in a non-heated garage. So let's see what we can do here. Let's get this thing installed. I'm going to put that up here and see how that works, and then we'll deal with the dash cam here in a moment. Well, as you can see, as soon as I plugged it into the OBD port, that the unit fired up. Of course, I got to set it on some kind of angle here so that it reflects properly. Right now it's showing what appears to be voltage. Apologies for the focus. I'm just talking about the HUD here for a second. I managed to get it come back up. If you just press the button, it boots up and you get this screen. So there's the reflection. You get liters per hour, kilometers, whatever distance and stuff, but it will shut off here in a moment. Getting a little bit of a double glare here on the window, but that's not surprising. They do give you a piece of what looks like polarized plastic, whatever, to stick on the windshield. I don't know if I'm going to install that or not, but anyhow, there's a little scroll wheel on the side. You can just press it. I do believe it comes on when you start driving, but anyways, we'll check it out on a drive, and I'll report back what I think. All right, first thing we need to do is plug this into the ODB port, which is located right here. Flip the power switch on the side. Oh, and she turns on, look at that. All right, so we're just gonna stick it up here on this little mat thing. Now, the thing is, I don't have a lot of high expectations of this unit in a Tesla, given that it's supposed to record things like fuel consumption and the usual stuff, but hey, we'll give it a go. I'm seeing a reflection up here. I think it needs to be pushed a little further down, but let me adjust here, and we'll take a look at it here again in a second. So the little HUD thing, it shut down. It doesn't seem to want to work in the Tesla, so it doesn't surprise me. Didn't have high hopes for it, but yeah, not good for a Tesla. It's kind of useless. So. All right, so here's the dash cam, and I think the best place to put it is right here behind the mirror, and try to line up the camera, which is that aperture right there, with the mounting part for the mirror to make sure that it's as center as possible with the car. And that still allows us to move the mirror around without too much interference. So I'll just peel the tape off here and stick it on. Unfortunately, the sticky tape doesn't seem to be working. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if there's just too much condensation, but I touched the tape, and it's not very sticky at all. It's like, I don't know if it's old tape or whatever. It's not working. I have some more in my workshop. I'll be right back. Yeah, so this tape that's on there, it's garbage. Ugh. I have some actual 3M tape here, and I'll put some fresh stuff on here. All right, some fresh tape on there, and it already feels better. Let's go try it in the car now. All right, back in the car. Let's try this again with the new tape. Let's see if I can get it to stick. Gonna hold it there for a little bit. Yeah, I see they've done the trick. That's much better. And I can just turn the camera a little bit, point it out the front of the car. All right, let's hook it up with the USB and see what happens. All right, so I just plugged in the USB cable and just draped it like this temporarily. And just as I had suspected, the cigarette lighter adapter is not powered on, so let's turn that on. And we have a red light. All right, so we do have a light. Let's just turn off the engine. We don't need that. Oh, yeah, we do need power. There we go. Okay, so there's a red light. I guess that's booting, and there's the cigarette lighter. And let's try our phone and see if we can see this guy. Hook up to it. Yeah, there it is right there. All right, shows connected on my phone, but I'm not getting that. So then there's an app on here that you download. Let's see if it sees anything. Connect. Oh, there we go. Good. So we do get a view out of the front of the car. Let's see what else we can find in here. Some settings. So, recorder setup. Sorry about the camera angle. Here we go. So there we go. We can change the password. I'll change that. That's the default password. And we want to do automatic shutdown. Let's say after 30 seconds, clicking sound. Recording, seeing screensaver, white balance, exposure. We definitely want motion detection. Park guard, I guess. Language, English for sure. Photo source frequency. Well, we're North America. We like 60 frames. Let's format the SD card. I don't know what else is in here. Oh, it's recording. There's a little red lights flashing. And we're getting a light here on the front. So, looks like it's working. I guess I can take a picture here. Yeah, screenshot. Alright. Now, if I remember correctly, the specs say that it's supposed to be 1080p, but I'm not too sure. I'll pull the footage off a little bit later when we go for a drive and we'll check it out. Now, the one thing to remember here, this is a one-channel system. It's not a dual channel. There's not another camera in the back. But anyway, yeah, I think these sell for about $40 Canadian on the GearBest site. You know, it's a far cry from, say, the $300 or $400 plus on the new Blackviews. But if it does the job, I guess you can't complain too much, because if it fails, you can certainly buy a lot more of these cameras to replace a broken one. But I'm still a big fan of the Blackview because it has a lot more features, cloud, upload, all the fun stuff. All right, that just killed my connection. Yeah, thank you very much. Connect. And there we go, so we're connected again. So, oh yeah, look at that. There's a little bit of a timeline here in the app. I'm sorry about the focus. So you can kind of... Anyways, we'll try this out on the road, and then I'll report back. Now, the USB cable coming out of the camera is a little bent out of shape right now because it's brand new, but I think it's long enough to go through the headliner, down the A-pillar, up and around to go into the into the cigarette lighter for power. But yeah, this is switched, so if you want this to be continuously recording, you're going to have to use something like a constant power source, you know, like cut off the end here and wire it in directly. Or I believe you could probably use one of those Power Magic Pros that you can buy for the Blackview, and that has a little switches and timers on. I'll put a link in the video. You can check those boxes out, and that gives you constant power. So while I'm on the subject, this is the radio stack that we're going to end up replacing. It's a double DIN. Should be fairly easy to remove, but the fact that it's all square, I don't know if the fascia on that one that they sent me is actually going to work in this car. So when it warms up outside, I'll have a chance to pull this out. I really need a warm garage to work because this is too cold for me to be doing anything in there. So I'll probably put that in a separate video if I get around to it, so stay tuned for that.